This is the GBN Luncheon News for today, Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. Coming up in the news, National Beautification Competition launched ahead of Flower and Garden Festival, and Solar for All program expands to Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Regionally, St. Vincent and the Grenadines authorities confirm missing Baron aircraft located. Internationally, shipping firms wary on Hormuz transit despite U.S.-Iran deal. And in sports, Argentina, France begin World Cup campaigns, Spain stunned by Cape Verde as World Cup continues. The first segment comes to you compliments Bryden and Miners. Diedra Sealey with the details. Schools, community groups, and individuals are being invited to participate in a national beautification competition being organized ahead of Grenada's first Flower and Garden Festival later this year. The initiative, led by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Agriculture's 4-H unit, encourages communities across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique to undertake projects such as improving community gardens, beautifying schools, and enhancing public spaces. Organizers say the competition is intended to promote environmental stewardship, community involvement, and pride in local surroundings. Registration is open until June 30th, with judging scheduled for October. Winners will be announced during the Grenada Flower and Garden Festival, which takes place from November 8th to 15th. The festival will feature garden tours, exhibitions, workshops, and other activities celebrating Grenada's natural beauty and horticultural heritage. Residents of Carriacou and Petite Martinique are being invited to learn more about how they can participate in the government's Solar for All renewable energy initiative. The Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, in collaboration with the Ministry of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, has announced the official launch of the Solar for All program in the Sister Isles on Thursday, June 18th at 4 p.m. at the Ariza Credit Union Conference Room in Hillsborough. The Solar for All initiative was first launched in November 2025 in an effort to expand energy access across Grenada. Through the project, solar panels are being installed in energy marginalized households to help reduce or eliminate electricity bills for families who struggle with energy costs. Officials say the initiative forms part of efforts to promote energy independence and build stronger, more resilient communities across the sister islands. And finally, 2 Grenadian agribusinesses have been selected to showcase their projects to regional investors at the Regional Food Systems Investment Forum in Barbados. Akata Farms Limited and Grenada Grows Limited earned spots in the forum's exclusive deal room pitch, where businesses present investment opportunities to strengthen food systems across the Caribbean. Organizers say participating companies were assessed on investment readiness, commercial viability, potential impact, and their ability to scale their operations. The forum is focused on attracting private investment, agriculture, and food systems as Caribbean countries seek to reduce their dependence on imported food and strengthen regional food security. That concludes our local news. Stay with us for our second segment, Compliments Fortune Foods Limited.
Before the digital age, before the world moved at the speed of a click, there was a signal connecting a nation. In 1986, a journey in broadcasting began in Grenada, a journey that would grow into a trusted voice across the country. For 40 years, through radio and television, we've been there for the stories that shaped our nation, the news that mattered, the voices that informed us, the moments that brought us together. Your stories, your voices, your moments. The Grenada Broadcasting Network, 40 years strong. One nation, one network.
Regional news. St. Vincent and the Grenadines authorities say the missing Baron aircraft has been located. More details in this OCM report.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines government has confirmed the Dominican Republic registered aircraft, which went missing en route to Tobago, has been found. There has been no loss of life. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, St. Clair Leacock, told a radio program yesterday that international, regional, and national agencies have located the aircraft. He gave no indication as to the location. A statement from the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Sustainable Development had stated last Friday that the twin-engine Beechcraft aircraft departed the Argyle International Airport in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at about 11:52 a.m. The plane was due to land at the A&R Robinson International Airport in Tobago 1 hour and 5 minutes later. Mr. Leacock told radio listeners that since the disappearance of the plane, he had been in continuous contact with the Commissioner of Police, among other agencies in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. Prior to its disappearance, the aircraft was being monitored on the flight tracking website known as Flight Trader 24, which showed it operating under visual flight rules at an altitude of 4,025 feet and traveling at a speed of 142 knots. All tracking data abruptly ceased mid-flight over the southern Caribbean Sea, placing the aircraft somewhere near Grenadian or Venezuelan territorial waters. St. Lucia will host the 51st regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community in Grosseille from July 5th to the 8th this year. The term is under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Philip J. Pear. He will assume duties as chairman on July 1st. The St. Lucia Prime Minister spoke with members of the media at home yesterday, telling of the focus of this meeting.
During St. Lucia's chairmanship, our focus will be guided by a simple but urgent principle. CARICOM must deliver results that our people can see and feel in their everyday lives. Regional integration must not be something discussed only in conference rooms or reflected solely in communiques. It must translate into meaningful improvements in the lives of Caribbean people. Over the next 6 months, St. Lucia will work with our regional partners to strengthen Caribbean unity, advance climate resilience and climate justice, improve regional security.
He said expanding food security is high on the list of topics to be discussed. The host is hoping for frank talks and progress.
On Monday, July 6, heads of governments or the representatives will participate in the Heads Retreat, an important opportunity for frank discussion, reflection, and consensus building among regional leaders. This year's program for the conference has been intentionally designed to create a space for leaders or their representatives to engage directly with one another, exchange perspectives on key regional issues, and strengthen collaboration.
Mr. Pear acknowledged the outgoing chairman of CARICOM, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. At the last retreat of the leaders held in St. Kitts and Nevis in March this year, regional leaders agreed on reappointing Belizean economist Dr. Carla Barnett for a second 5-year term as CARICOM's Secretary General. But the re-election was criticized by Trinidad and Tobago, which said it was not represented at the retreat and has since indicated that it will not recognize Dr. Barnett as Secretary General when her first term ends in August.
Our regional segment came to you compliments Fortune Foods Limited. Stay with us for international news and sports.
Before the digital age, before the world moved at the speed of a click, there was a signal connecting a nation. In 1986, a journey in broadcasting began in Grenada, a journey that would grow into a trusted voice across the country. For 40 years, through radio and television, we've been there for the stories that shaped our nation, the news that mattered, the voices that informed us, the moments that brought us together. Your stories, your voices, your moments. The Grenada Broadcasting Network, 40 years strong. One nation, one network.
Welcome back. In international news, shippers in Asia and Europe said confidence in resuming transit through the Strait of Hormuz could take weeks to rebuild, and navigation will only restart once safety is assured, after the U.S. and Iran agreed on a framework deal to reopen the waterway. More details in this Reuters report.
Shipping firms say it could take weeks for movements to get back to normal in the Strait of Hormuz, despite the U.S.-Iran peace deal. In a social media post, Donald Trump said tankers were already moving oil out of the area. The U.S. president called the strait, quote, totally safe, secure, and pristine. But vessel tracking data showed no significant movement on Monday. Just one liquefied natural gas carrier was seen making the transit. However, that could understate the real numbers, with the data only capturing ships transmitting their position. In recent weeks, some vessels have been switching off their transponders or sailing dark and making the transit with the help of the U.S. Navy. For now, shipping firms welcome the deal, but also express caution. Companies in Asia and Europe told Reuters they would only start moving once safety is assured, and the US and Iran have a framework for control of the waterway. They want to see more detail on moves, including the clearance of any mines. Some industry experts also noted that the strait have been declared open before, only for little to change. German shipping firm Hapag-Lloyd said it hoped to resume transits this week. Danish giant Maersk said it was too early to assess the impact of the deal, and it was making no changes to Middle East operations for now. Countries around the world will be watching, as around a fifth of the world's oil supplies normally moves through the strait. Industry experts say as many as 215 tankers are still stuck in the area.
Meanwhile, Israel's prime minister says his forces will continue occupying southern Lebanon, despite the U.S.-Iran agreement. Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel will keep troops in what he called a security zone as long as necessary. More details in this Al Jazeera report.
Israel's prime minister says his forces will continue occupying southern Lebanon despite this U.S.-Iran agreement. Netanyahu said that Israel will keep its troops in what he called a security zone as long as necessary. Noor Odeh follows developments from Ramallah.
It took the Israeli prime minister about 20 hours to come out and speak to the Israeli public about the deal that the U.S. president announced with Iran. This is a very deeply unpopular development. The opposition parties and even Netanyahu's own coalition partners have urged him not to accept it, not to comply with it. But this has put him in quite a tough position in confrontation with the U.S. president. Now, the Israeli prime minister defended his government's positions, the decision to attack Iran when Israel did, and he claimed and he talked about the many military achievements that he says Israel has already accomplished in Iran, in Lebanon, in Syria, and even in Gaza. The Israeli prime minister insisted that his troops will continue to stay in the occupied Lebanese territory and will defend Israeli interests, will act militarily to thwart any attacks. That fudges the line. It doesn't put the Israeli prime minister in direct confrontation with Donald Trump, but certainly it continues to pose the question of just how much leverage Israel has to derail the talks and what kind of actions await in the coming days. Noorode, Al Jazeera, Ramallah.
Stay with us for sports. Lionel Messi's Argentina and Kylian Mbappe's France will begin their FIFA World Cup 2026 campaigns today as the tournament continues across North America. Defending champions Argentina face Algeria in Kansas City, with Messi set to make his 6th World Cup appearance. Coach Lionel Scaloni says the 38-year-old is fit and ready despite a recent hamstring injury. France, runners-up in 2022, opened their campaign against Senegal in New Jersey. Coach Didier Deschamps says a winning start is the objective, but warned that the emotions of the occasion can affect players. Elsewhere, Manchester City striker Erling Haaland is set to make his World Cup debut when Norway take on Iraq today. Haaland heads into the tournament in outstanding form, having scored 55 goals in 50 appearances for his country. In Monday's action, one of the tournament favourites, Spain, was held to a surprise 0-0 draw by World Cup debutants Cape Verde. Iran and New Zealand played to an entertaining 2-2 draw in Los Angeles, while Belgium came from behind to secure a 1-1 draw with Egypt after an own goal by Mohamed Hani. Uruguay also had to settle for 1 point after rallying from behind to draw with Saudi Arabia in Group H. The group stage of the expanded 48-team FIFA World Cup continues through Saturday, June 27th, with the knockout stage set to begin on June 28th. Now for a recap of today's headlines. National Beautification Competition launched ahead of Flower and Garden Festival, and Solar for All program expands to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Regionally, St. Vincent and the Grenadines authorities confirm missing Baron aircraft located. Internationally, shipping firms wary on Hormuz transit despite U.S.-Iran deal. And in sports, Argentina, France begin World Cup campaigns, Spain stunted by Cape Verde as World Cup continues. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Diedra Sealey, thanking you for joining us.